Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start the meeting. I'd like to call to order. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Petropoulos.
Here.
Mrs. LaBudget.
Here.
Mrs. Lamel.
Here.
Mrs. Grove.
Here.
Mrs. Birkin.
Here.
Mr. Medina.
Here.
And Mrs. Schroeder.
Here.
I'd like to do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we have the introduction of guests. We have some people from the Eisenhower Co-op, Maria Grossi and Angela Zajac. Am I saying it right?
Got it right.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah. And that will actually bring us right into our first line item. Chicago Ridge has always kind of been the financial holder of the Eisenhower Co-op. So we have to approve their budget, have a hearing for them, and then go ahead and approve their budget. So they are here to answer any questions if you have any. If not, we can go right into the hearing.
Okay. I have to
You can just
open
have
it.
one and say.
Open the hearing. Anyone have any questions? All right, so I'm going to open the annual budget hearing for the Eisenhower Cooperative fiscal year 25 budget.
Ask it 3 times. Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Are there any questions?
are there any questions? I'm gonna open the hearing for the annual budget for Eisenhower Co-op fiscal year 25 budget. One more time. I'm gonna open the hearing for the annual budget, opening the annual budget hearing for Eisenhower Cooperative fiscal year 25 budget. Okay, so, hearing is closed. All right, so 2.2 then is a potential board action to approve the Eisenhower Cooperative fiscal year 25 budget. Looking for a motion. I'll make a motion.
Mrs. Lamel.
Aye.
Mrs. Schroeder. Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mr. Medina. Mrs. LaBudget.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove.
3.0 is the approval of the consent agenda, which has all the payroll.
Hi guys, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming.
See you later.
And so I guess we're looking for a motion for that as well.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. I'll second.
And I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Mrs. Grove.
Aye.
Mrs. Schroeder.
Aye.
Mrs. Lamel.
Aye.
Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mrs. Schroeder.
Aye. All right, 4.0 superintendent report.
So welcome back, everyone. It seems like it has been a really, really long time since we had a meeting, but when I looked, it's only been 6 weeks. So it shows how much we get in that pattern of this meeting every couple weeks. But I hope everyone had an enjoyable summer, and we've been really busy here at the buildings. My first thing, PTA report, spoke to the president last week. We're busy planning right away the bingo night and movie night, it looks like, in October. So those will be the first 2. We think we have the dates, but she's had to confirm a couple people, and then we'll get those out. So we're excited. Last year, if you remember, it was a kind of a slow start for the PTA because we didn't have anyone step up right away. So we'll get running right away. So we're excited about that. Vacant positions and possible staffing needs. We're really down to just a few areas. Special ed, we interviewed someone today that we were going to be offering the position to, and then I believe we just filled the EL maternity leave sub. So we've pretty much gotten a big hire out of the way. I think another year that I've been here, we have not been in the point. So it's nice to see that. Our administrators spent a lot of time before they went on break, some of them while they were on break, and then they came back interviewing. So I appreciate all that hard work for that. We have open houses coming up Monday and Tuesday night. We flip-flop the day every year. So this year, Finley will be on Monday, August 19th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. And then Ridge Central and Ridge will be on Tuesday, also from 6:30 to 8. And I really just want to encourage you, obviously, if you have but if you get a chance to go to any other ones, kind of walk around and hop in some classrooms and kind of see, it's always fun to watch that excitement when kids are meeting their teachers and seeing classrooms for the first time. Any questions on open house?
Yeah.
Yes, so they don't have.
Recommended wagon.
Yeah.
Especially if you have multiples of one bill.
Yeah. So our next one, 4.4, is our opening day institute for all staff. We will have institute days Monday and Tuesday. And just like we've done in the past, Wednesday then will be a non-attendance day. Gives teachers who still feel that they have room. But if they feel they're ready to go, before the kids come on Thursday, it seems like it worked out really well. But the opening address, I always do the opening talk on the first day, and our kind of our focus of the messages here is we're all in this together. We've been doing a lot of new things, and we are launching our HMH curriculum, and to just really make sure we're kind of all getting set on the right foot, so we're not one place is doing things one way, doing things the other way. We want to kind of be this together. And then the second day, there are many different things going on, but the main focus overall is the HMH training for the staff. I'm sure people will talk more about that, but that will not be the only day that we get trained through the year. But again, it's fun. I was looking out that first morning, 200 plus people out in front of us who are all there for the kids. So it's a really fun, exciting time. So that will be coming up early next week. At 4.5, we are excited to discuss the parent. Remember, we've had 2 parent liaisons in the district a long time. I would say at least for 10 years. And they like to help out our families. So one of the things that we have noticed in our demographics back, so we've had a large increase in Spanish-speaking families. We are 143 families between Ridge Central and Findlay. I'm assuming once we see our numbers come in for newcomers, that number up at this time. So that's a need that we add someone who can help. And our goal is always to make whoever comes into our building feels comfortable. It's really hard to do when we're having to call our nurse down to interpret for us. And the translation stations are very helpful in the moment. We know we have families here all the time. It's also very helpful to have that person. So I'm going to be recommending a few things tonight. The first one will be recommending that we add a Spanish parent liaison added as a position. The second one is to adjust the job description. When I went into the job description that was made 10 years ago, everything that it spoke about was Arabic speaking. Referred to our old student information system. So this kind of made it a little more general with those and just said bilingual. So any language we go to hire people, we're not set in exactly what we have to hire. And then the third one is we did find a candidate that we thought would do a really, really nice job. So recommending her as the person. So, okay. 4.6, the MOU with Easter Seals. Our Fran has been in charge of the pre-K program for a little while, and every year we get really, really high marks on our pre-K program. Not only does Fran do what she needs to do, but our teachers and our secretaries. So we've always gotten really good marks. One of the things we've gotten marked down in the last couple of years, we've not had an MOU organization, Head Start agency in town. We were with Pillars for a while, and they kind of went away. And no matter what we tried, we couldn't find someone. We'd ask people, and then finally someone said, "Well, Easter is with you," and it's really a partnership that we can share their resources with us, and we share that with our families. So it's a win-win. We just really struggle to find it is a requirement for the state, so they get signed off on their end of the MOU. So we'll be asking them to sign off so that we don't have anymore. And that last one, before other, is Smart Social. If you remember, back in May or June, we talked to the board about investing in Smart Social, which teaches the internet safety for both for parents and for students. So we had our administrative retreat on Thursday, where we did have a Zoom call with groups to talk to our administrators about. And then I had a follow-up call today to really discuss how we can roll this out to our families. So on Thursday, and I'll send this to you tomorrow, but on Thursday, we're going to send a letter that explains it. It has a link to register them, and all they have to do is put their name and their email address, and if they have this link, they're automatically registered for it. And then during open house, we're going to have these flyers up all over the QR code that will take you to the same page. And we talked today during our admin meeting this afternoon about making sure computers out there for people so that they can go ahead and get registered. There's actually a live event tonight talking about AI. Do it 3 different times, but just always those live events that they can go to. More importantly, there's over 130 different videos, trainings that parents can go on at any time. And then we really discussed in our meeting today, specifically at the junior high, but also with some younger kids, what aspects of this do we want to make sure our students are hearing? We're not going to show them all 130 videos, but there's certain ones that I think are really important for them to understand the impact that the screen time has, impact that things like Snapchat and other apps that you got to be really careful about. So we're excited to launch that. It won't just be a one-time blip, but I'll be able to see when they sign up which families of ours are using it, how many families, and then we'll continue to try to get that information out to people. So I'm really excited. I know the admins were real excited when they got to see it, and that the board was supporting that.
Computers out of open houses.
Yes.
It might be nice to have some type of large signage explaining what it was. How maybe some staff can be standing there. Hey, this is a free opportunity that has some kind of development for parents who are struggling with how to help their kids adapt to using social media and what apps and kind of what can happen. I think that would be like a nice encouraging factor. I'm sure teachers are going to be busy enough introducing themselves and whatnot, but kind of letting them know what it's for. Having some
great. Any other questions on Smart Social?
When the students are going to be reviewing the video, is it going to be
Yeah, and that's what we're kind of discussing right now. We talk like at the junior high, like study hall for those kids who don't have things those days. That would be a good time. SEL again, when we talk mental health, a lot of it does deal with mental health. So we're trying to find the time that it fits in best without adding another thing that our staff has to really focus on. We want to kind of drive that with parents and then say, all right, these are the areas. And the other thing that we discussed was when we see a kid who's maybe not making some good choices and has gotten in trouble with that, videos to them with your family to watch, just so they can have that discussion.
maybe even like a questionnaire?
Yep. Well, with the free and reduced lunch program, we cannot offer any food.
Well, even if like there's a rain day and they have indoor recess, it could be an option.
Yeah, and I will
I
say,
mean, not like I'd be like, yay,
Yeah.
about cell phones. I mean, sometimes.
and I will say that they are very engaging videos because the student ones are usually like high students. Yeah. I'll try it out at home. Sure. So,
Or maybe if one kid watches it and they say it's interesting, another kid will.
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited. I think we can get parents signed up. I think they're going to get a lot of useful information. So, and then my other, just to let the board know, they have released all the information for the board election. If you go to our website, you will see that it has been completely updated. Lori and Sam, our website guy, we put every link you could possibly want on there. Remember, we have 5 open seats on the board. I believe 4 of them are 4 years and 1 is a 2-year. You can start, I believe, getting signatures on the petition this year as early as August 20th, and I believe it has to be filed between November 12th and November 18th. So, I would encourage you to go to the website, and then if you have any questions after that, let us know. All right, that is it, and I'm going to turn it over to Megan Nathaniel for our curriculum director.
One is our summer school recap and summer recap overall. We were high in our attendance numbers this summer during summer school than we did last summer. So overall, after all 13 days, we had a daily average of 81% attendance. And then we saw a huge increase in our 4th through 5th grade students from last year to this year. Last year, their daily attendance was about on average 50%. Sometimes we had classes that were really low one students. This year, that was 85%. So we had one 5th grade classroom who had 100% participation almost every single day. So we talked briefly about why we feel that it has changed. I think it was brought up that maybe because it was moving through Thursday. We did send out a survey to the summer school staff asking them for feedback on things like schedule changes, dates, more for the dry, and so we were releasing planning, which as you know, will probably be about January for next year summer. We'll take into consideration our feedback along with conversations with the board about the list of our students for that program. The feedback that we had to go through, did want to thank the teachers, the summer school teachers, they want to thank the administrative team for being there and being visible and in their classrooms during summer school. So I wanted to make sure that they all heard that as well at this time. And then professional development over the summer, we like to provide for our new staff coming in, or staff that are transitioning grades, professional development opportunities with resources that they will be using at the start of the year. So they come in. We provided things like professional development. We had 4 days, we had about 40 staff members, kindergarten that came in over the summer for professional development or professional learning, if you will, with a partner of ours, Kelly Doback, on research evidence-based practices in the ELA classroom to help all of those teachers foundational learning. 2 of the teachers that are here now attended that. So it's it was really great, powerful information to get at the start on about what the teachers in order to roll out that new reading series, but also know why that series is doing what it's doing and why it's important to really rely on that as a resource. And then 5.2, professional development for the 24-25 school year. As Dr. Thorns had said, we do have a theme, as we like to have a theme. And so our theme this year is we're all in this together. So Dr. Thorns is passing out the stickers that all of the staff will receive on the first Institute Day. This theme is to really be focused on all in on each page, all in on district initiatives. We're all in and we're all doing it together. So hopefully this really resonates and as a reminder to all of our staff throughout the year that if they need something, they need to be there for them. To continue with professional development, we have partnered again with University of Chicago in years past, so 7+ years. We have partnered with University of Chicago through a grant called CASPER, which they developed the district math leadership team. Our CASPER grant has transitioned to now focusing on effective team leaders. So that has transitioned a little bit to, they're still going to work with our district math leadership team, but now they're going to be working with our administrative team and our leadership teams within the buildings to build effective teams, to build effective team leaders, so that we can again strengthen the foundations of that work as we start to roll out some of these ELA new resources, math new resources, and things like that. So that's called the Learning in Math initiative or grant funded through University of Chicago partnership. And we're excited as an admin team to see how that work can work with the other work in our leadership within the building. As Dr. Thorne said, we will, for the new HMA reading and into literature, provide a multitude of opportunities for staff to be learning about that resource and how to implement and then plan with that resource throughout the year. But we are also excited that we're going to be a district literacy leadership team. So it will mirror the same as our district math leadership team, where we will have a group of teachers, staff, they meet together about what it takes to have a really effective reading and writing classroom. What's happening in that classroom? How is the teacher teaching? What are we doing to ensure that those students are meeting the high standards that we can expect of them, and looking at the research to be able to what they can do for their instruction. So again, we partnered with Kelly Doback. She is going to be working with that group as well as myself, and our administrative team will be supporting work as well, to ensure that we roll out that resource and we're all in and then lastly, for professional development, we have again partnered with Alex McLeese. Hopefully this is a name that you've heard before. He came out 2 years ago. He came out last year and he's been working with our administrative team. We actually have already invited him out for our January Institute Day to continue that the strategy that we talked about implementing it in your classroom to ensure that kids love what they learn, which is the title of his book. And having teachers have a toolbox to engage to motivate the students to learn. 5.3 NCMI. This is also a name that has probably been talked about a lot. I know as a fourth grade teacher, I attended NCMI trainings. It's a organization that its main goal is to improve teaching and learning in the math classrooms. And for our contract, we continue to partner with the coach specifically. His name is Ron Barber. Missionary High School last year. He's a part of our district math leadership team as well. And he will be working with them, coaching those junior high staff, providing professional development for them throughout the year. And then NCMI also provides quite a variety of different opportunities. Actually, four of our six staff members, math teachers actually attended professional development through NCMI on the multilingual the summer, and we'll continue to attend different opportunities through CMI this year, which works. There's leadership opportunities in our math coaches have been a huge part of that organization, coaching as well. And then lastly, 5.4 assessment calendar. In your packet, you should have the assessment calendar. We just like to share that out with the board so you know the assessment cycle that the students will go through each trimester. Some of that testing is diagnostic. We do that as a district so that we can gather data and see student growth, look at trends, things like that. Some are specific to certain grade levels. Some are screeners for behavior, mental health, things like that. Of course, also the state testing like IAR, ISA, which is science assessment and math. The one big thing that is a shift for us is the district to take the decision to remove K-5 fluency assessment. That was a lot of conversation with the organization and to determine, is this resource really giving us what we need, or are we just testing the students? And we did get information from it, but we weren't yet in the practice of using it successfully or rolling out how to use it. So we are going to use that assessment on a needs basis. So we have purchased subscriptions to it, and if we feel that we need to gather more data on a student, we will then provide that assessment to them, whether it be through reading intervention, through an MCSS process, admin recommendation for problem solving meetings and things like that. Any questions? No? 5.5 other, I have none.
I know, chief school report.
Okay, lots going on over there.
I'm gonna ask another-
There you go.
Good.
Okay, don't ever give me 6 weeks off. I forget everything. Okay, so construction. Over the summer, we had Twin Supplies in here doing a lot of lighting at all three schools. Like these, they replaced all of the 2x4 troffers and the 2x2 in all of the buildings. And it really went very smoothly, very little interruption. They adjusted their schedule accordingly to accommodate summer school over at Ridge Lawn. There are some fixtures over here in the NPR at Finley that we are still waiting on, and those may not come in until early September, but Twin Supplies will work around the students and staff schedule to get those in. There are a handful of punch list items that our architect is working with Twin Supplies to get fixed over the next week or so. But overall, that went really nicely. The CSI will be coming, Construction Solutions will be coming in. They were actually supposed to be here today and tomorrow to do the interior signage. With all the construction, there's been a lot of renumbering. And so all the offices and classrooms are going to have a new sign. And so hopefully that would be finished by the end of the week. And then another thing we talked about very briefly is very late May, early June, we got the opportunity to apply for some additional pre-K funding. And what was in most need is, for some reason, the playground at Ridge Central and the pre-K playground, they're not holding up like they should. So we asked the state if we could have money for the resurfacing of the pre-K playground, and we were actually awarded that. So we had a contractor out the other day, and Dr. King was there with us, and what we're going to recommend the board approve is actually an AstroTurf surface. Right now, they have pour and play, and I don't know if it was an installation issue because the playground over at Ridge Lawn is holding up a little better.
They have them at the public park, so I'm wondering like, what's the problem? Because
Yeah.
it can't be the direct sun because they have them at all the public parks and they're peeling all
Mhm.
over here.
Yeah.
It's not like kids are like digging it up.
No,
So
and it's throughout the surface, and we never, got our architect to say it was a bad install job. If I had to guess, I think it would be that. So the good news is we do have all the funding available to do the pre-K playground, and that was hopefully going to get done by the end of the month. There is no guarantee, but worst case scenario, even if they do it in September, we're looking at a day or two of having that. And when we meet with the architect to go over our capital plan, we might need to look into resurfacing the main one at Central. Included in the quote is some minor patching for areas that just really kind of disintegrated, but there is a greater need to resurface that whole
And I think
whole area.
it would be nice for us, although I want it done sooner rather than later, I think it'll be nice to see how the surface turns out in the pre-K playground, and if we like that, then look to replicate that.
AstroTurf, like fake grass, that's what.
It is.
Like on football field.
That's
like they're doing?
exactly what it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And then we actually still have some lingering issues with a year ago construction with CSI. That was when they did the
Sorry,
big.
every time that I laugh because it sounds like crime scene, but every time you say it.
Sorry.
it pops in my head.
We'll say Construction Solutions. That was the company that did that gorgeous work over at Ridge Lawn, and then the additions over here at Ridge Central. There's some minor things that are still outstanding. One is if anybody has ever walked into the Finley front office, you see a monstrosity of an IT cabinet. And it's an eyesore, and we have literally been talking about this over a year. We have repeatedly talked to our architect on it. They have reached out to Construction Solutions. They are getting no response with the vendor. So really, we're just gonna kind of have Gino one day fix that on its own. We will deal with Construction Solutions on whether we get any money back, but it's to the point we just needed to look presentable. And a couple minor other things. There's just been a lot of delays with putting the fence around the dumpsters here out at Finley. They finally did put the bollards in last week, so that was progress. So really just wanted to let you know, even though it's been a year, there are still some minor things we're working on with them.
And do we still owe money yet right now? Have
We do.
withheld it?
Construction Solutions has not requested their final pay application. And so it's not like they've asked the money and we've said no. They know that there's some punch list items out there. And then finally, classroom furniture. We were able to get the 2nd and 3rd grade furniture at Ridge Lawn and Ridge Central. So hopefully the classrooms are looking good over there. There was an issue with the desk surfaces for the teachers at Ridge Lawn. They came in as a wrong color. And so that was were they redone today? Was that taken care of? Okay, so they're going to be coming next week then to swap those out, but teachers do have desks in there now. Okay, then the final thing is, when we met on June 25th, we talked about the food service contract, and the board gave Dr. Thorns the authority to enter into that contract, because at that time, we as a district knew the food service vendor that we were recommending, but the Illinois State Board of Education did not grant us permission to enter into that contract. So the very next day when I come into work, of course, we have an email that I put in the summation, granting awarding of that contract. So our new food service vendor is Whitson's Culinary Group. We had our taste testing, and when we put together the rubric, they were the overall winner in terms of points. We actually had them out today. We wanted to give the 3 main lunch hostesses the opportunity to speak with them, because questions I asked them are very different from the 3 wonderful women that are feeding our kids. So they were able to, talk about deliveries and how it's going to look. And I always anticipate a couple bumps along the road. The same meal delivery service, that is not going to change. It is not individual meals. It is bulk. There will be scooping. There'll be things like that. But I am realistically probably, anticipating some little issues, but I'm very excited about that. Ready to get that off the ground. Anybody have any questions on any of that?
Besides us, who else does this, victims use? I mean, where else are they at?
Yeah.
What other districts are
Sure.
outside our bubble? that
Right,
we created?
and actually, I'm very glad you asked that, because they are rather new into Illinois. And so Yorkville, they have a couple of north sides, but they've also contracted with District 218. So they are literally right down the street. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, one of the lunch hostesses' daughters goes to District 218. I think she's at Richards, and so she kind of already got a little taste of it, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
6.4 other, 7.0.
contract with Whitson's Culinary Group.
Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mrs. Lamb.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove.
Glad you guys
Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mrs. Schroeder.
Aye.
Mr. Medina.
Aye.
And Mrs. Petropoulos.
Aye. 8.3, potential board action to approve the updated job description for the parent liaisons position.
I'll make the motion.
Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mr. Medina.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove.
Aye. 8.4, potential board action to approve the 1.0 parent liaison position. And again, this is the position that will be in assisting our Spanish-speaking families.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
I'm sorry.
Medina.
Mrs. Lamb. Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mr. Schroeder. Mr. Medina. Mrs. Petropoulos.
Aye. 8.5, potential board action to approve payment to Honeywell International in the amount of $66,324 for mechanical and electronical maintenance.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mrs. Birkin, actually.
Aye.
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 Mrs. Schroeder. Aye. Mrs. Grove. Mrs. Petropoulos.
Aye. 8.6, potential board action to approve payment to Twin Supplies in the total amount of $297,270.90 for additional work done in the Food 2 lighting project.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
Mrs. Lamb.
Aye.
Mrs. Medina.
Aye. 8.7, potential board action to approve the contract with Team Rail Inc. in the amount of $76,817.25 to resurface the Ridge Central Pre-K playground and patch the K-5.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Medina. Mrs. Lamb.
Aye.
Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 8.8, potential board action to approve the agreement and purchase with MCMI Mathematics, instructional coaching and professional development for the Finley Junior High in the amount of $35,520.
I'll make the motion. Aye.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Schroeder. Aye. Lamb.
Aye.
Aye. 8.9, potential board action to approve the 24-25 board meeting dates, places, and time.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Schroeder. Aye. Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Lamb.
Aye.
Mr. Medina.
Aye.
Aye. 8.10, this is a potential board action to approve the 24-25 study session dates and times.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mrs.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
Mrs. Schroeder. Aye. Medina.
Aye. 8.11, potential board action to change the August 27th study session to a special meeting, and basically requesting this change so that we can approve personnel and any other things needed for the start of the school year, because it's usually the busiest time.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Medina. Mrs. Ludwig.
Aye.
Mrs. Grove. Aye. Mrs. Birkin.
Aye.
And Mrs.
8.12, oh, sorry, aye. Aye. 8.12, this is a potential action to cancel the September 24th study session. Dr. Thorns is going to
Yes,
talk about
yeah,
that a little bit.
I'm down in Springfield for the superintendent's conference, 5 or 6 years on that day of the study session. The only time it didn't is when we were in COVID and we did not have a meeting down there that year because we were all stuck at home.
I'll make the motion.
I'm willing to say possibly switching it to a different day if, like, when you are in town.
yeah, I mean, we can have that discussion if we want.
So study sessions and board meetings in general can always be called as long as the public is given 48 hours notice. So, I mean, I think if there's a necessity for us to have something that we need to like vet out, I don't know. I mean, if we want to put something on the books, that's fine, but also we situation arises and then plan accordingly. I don't know.
Perhaps that's something that we can decide at the September board meeting.
If there's
If there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like
There's a
that,
need to
like
do that between them.
like the new curriculum or anything else that has to go over.
That'll give us.
Feel like make it a different day that week or whatever, because we've done it in the past where we coincide with a holiday that would impact a lot of our students. So, yeah, but just in the future, like I think if we've had situations where we've had to call an emergency meeting before too, so that's always a possibility if there's something that feels that we need to discuss or
Yeah, yeah, we missed each other.
I'm gonna read back, so I have to do a motion. So thoughts, I got motions in a second.
I'll second.
So we have a motion in a second to cancel the 24th. Mr. Medina. Burton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lammle.
Aye.
Mrs. Abuza.
Aye.
Ms. Earl. Aye. Mr. Schroeder. And Mrs. Chop.
Aye. 8.1 thing other, or 8.13 other.
Nope.
No. Okay, 9.0 meeting reports. 10.1 other. 10.0 informational.
Nothing.
10.1. All right, 11.0 opportunity for visitors to speak. Well, it is that time again, 12.0 president's prerogative.
Minutes at the timer.
Go for it. There's no timer in my world. And it was skipped last time, by the way, so I get double time today. I'd like to say I had the opportunity to go to some fantastic community events over the summer. It was nice to see a lot of board members. I saw teachers, students. The Slice December event hosted by the Ridge was, I thought, well attended and fantastic. Offered a lot of fun things for Chicagoite families to enjoy for free. And it had a lot of, it had CRAA, the Baseball Association. It had, Lions Club, Cub Scouts. It had lots of community things. The Tony's Taco Truck that's always around. I got for the first time. It was really good. So they had like a lot of great things. So it was just nice to see all the kids. The other one I was able to attend was a big night out, and I did see a lot of people there. And I love that because I feel like it really gives kids the opportunity to see police, firemen, things like that in a different light and venue. They're giving away great prizes. Kids were excited. We had a lot of fun stuff. I also got the vibe that my kids got to see a lot of their friends from school and like they're asking about classes and stuff. And most of you know, I think almost everyone got their teachers on Friday, maybe. I know that we got ours. So, friends are chatting with each other on Fortnite, busy. So there's just a great vibe of kids being excited to come back to school. And even like the parks and the public works were there, like letting kids climb on stuff. So I felt like it was a well attended meeting. It was just a nice thing to see people out the Ridge. Our officer was there who, like the kids all know him, running up and saying hi, handing out the pizza that was gone in 12 seconds. So it was like it was a good night for everyone. Today was my Institute Day, and yesterday as well. And today was the day where our school board came and talked to the teachers. And I thought about should I come to Institute Day when your board comes and talks? And I was like, well, maybe. But I listened today as the board kind of gave the board president gave her address, and I was really pleasantly surprised. And I'm going to steal what she said, but she talked about the excitement of students coming in, but she talked about self-care for teachers. And she, you're on an airplane and things are going south. When the mask drop, they don't tell you to put it on your kid first; they tell you to put it on yourself. And we do a lot of talking about SEL and supporting kids' mental health needs, but going with the whole theme, like we're all in this together, like the staff has to take care of themselves too. And I feel like it's really important with all the new kind of curriculum, all the new things going on, that people feel comfortable sharing their struggles, their kind of successes, and taking the time and space they need to support themselves so they can be the best possible person for the kids in front of them. And she said that it resonated with me because I know if I'm not in my right space, I am not doing what I can do best for my students. And I hope that all the staff, everyone, even administrators, support staff, everyone remembers that, like that we all have to be here for each other, but remember that if we're not doing the best that we can, we're not going to be the best that we can for the students that we're trying to support. So that would be like my one message, that, the teachers, it's a lot of pressure getting things together, new curriculum, kind of standardized testing coming out through the year, all these things happening. Like, we know that this is challenging. We know that you're up for the challenge. We have a great group of people, and I'm excited for the kids to come back. I know my husband's excited for our kids to go back. And I'm excited, to see all the great changes happening. But the message would be like, we're all in this together, but make sure that we're supporting each other and taking care of ourselves. I mean that in a sense for the teachers and all the people in the buildings. So, meet my time.
We're over 34 seconds.
All right, I'll look at that. All right, 13.0.
Thank you.
Adjourn to a closed session.
Yes, the discussion of the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, immediately consider an increase in compensation of a specific employee of the public body that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and shall be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with the Open Meeting Act as defined in the Open Meetings Act Section 2C1. The discussion of collective negotiated matters between the public body, its employees or representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees is defined in Section 2C2. The discussion of security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel equipment to respond to an actionable, a threatened, or reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, the staff, the public, or public property is defined in Section 2C8. Discussion of minutes of prior meetings lawfully closed under the Open Act as defined in Section 2C21 for the purpose of review, approval, or release of such minutes, as well as closed meetings as defined in Section 2C11. We will not be discussing litigation during this.
Aye. Mrs. Langwell.
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson.
Aye.
Mrs. Crowe. Aye. Dina.
Aye.
Mrs. Sherman.
Aye.